Welcome. So I am Maud Gari. I'm introducing this panel today. We will be together until 16, quarter to 4, because some of us quarter to 4, 5, 4h15, quarter to 16h15. No, less than 1 hour, unfortunately, because we need to stop at 4:15. Voilà. So here the idea is to have a panel which mixes professional from the music industry and professional from audiovisual industry. So all the three persons here has a lot of things to say on initiatives and programs that already exist to foster inclusivity in our cultural industry. So I will introduce and give them the microphone afterwards to Alexia Muiños Ruiz, here from Spain, Executive Director of EWA, European Women Association in Audiovisual, but also a filmmaker and a freelancer. Then Fabienne Silvestre from France, who is the director of le Lab Femmes de Cinéma, and also the co-founder of a festival which is called Les Arcs Festival, and also a coach and a trainer. And Gwenaëlle Kerboul here, who is the coordinator of a program from Ecoscène, which is called Les Femmes d'Ecoscène in the music industry. And me, Maud Gari, so I'm expert in European projects and European fundings. I've been doing this for many years, finding money for projects, in particular for women, projects led by women or for women empowerment, because there are European programs that exist and that can give money to some program. And one of the program is MEWEM, mentoring women entrepreneurs in music industry, which is one of the European projects that I've been also working with. And Gwenaëlle is also a member of the board of MEWEM. But here we speak about then the initiatives that you will speak about. So my idea was today speak a bit about their action so that you can understand what they do and what is singular in their work, and also the challenge that they face. And then we will move on to a more European level and see what can be inspiring, what can be effective to foster female empowerment, because as you may know, there are challenges. It's not easy. Even though we go on, still there are some systemic challenges, and we will speak about that. So now I will give you the floor. Maybe Fabienne, you can start. If you can, in a nutshell, explain. I know you do a lot of things, all of you, but if you can explain, well, what is your action? What are your objectives of Les Lab Femmes? And what you did until now, and maybe some figures also, and some challenges, but it can be also a thing that we will speak after.
In a nutshell, then.
In a nutshell. I love this,
yes,
this symbol. In a nutshell, very short, but still
that's why.
In deep.
Hello, everybody. I'm very glad to be here today. Le Lab Femmes de Cinéma is a think tank working on parity and diversity, both behind and in front of the camera. Our actions are actually based on 3 pillars. The first one is that we produce every year a study on the place of women in the cinema industry, and the idea is to ask all the film center all over Europe and ask them which measures they have taken to develop parity. And we actually have these policies, and we make them meet the figures that are collected by the European Audiovisual Observatory. And so it's interesting to see the evolution of the figures linked to the policies that are taken. So, well, to give you perhaps a few figures, let's say that in 2020, 2012, yes, when we started this study, the average proportion of women filmmakers was about 19%. Last year, in 2024, it was 26% at European scale, really European level. So regarding this evolution, if it still continues that way, we will have parity in 2048. So it's in a very long time. Another figure that I can say is that on the in average, again, at European scale, in the cinema school, you've got one person out of 2 who is a woman, and for the first short film, it's 1 out of 3. For the first and second feature film, it's 1 out of 4. And as soon as you're at the third film, feature film, and later on, it's 1 out of 6. So there's really a disparity of women. I just go back very quickly to our other pillars. So the first one is this study. The second one is that we organize working session, collaborative working session to raise awareness and also sensitization. This morning, for example, Sœurs Jumelles asked us, together with Elena, to facilitate a working session with students, and it was very interesting. It was about 50 students, and we sensitized them to these issues. So this is the second point. And the third pillar is that we try to do our best to promote women role model. So, and we do master classes, and we also have a podcast. I really welcome you to hear this podcast. And we had like about 60 now, I think, guests, who explain us what are their jobs and what it is to be a woman doing this job, really. So that's it. And other things, but your turn.
Hello. Okay. Thank you, Festival, for having me here today. I'm a filmmaker, and I joined in 2013 the European Women's Audiovisual Network to help set up all the structure. It was completely new back then. We have this dream of having this pan-European international organization to help women to network, be together, and make more projects and advance the gender imbalance that we knew it existed 12 years ago. So, in a nutshell, EVA Network has been working for 12 years in 4 legs, in 4 pillars, let's say. First of all, networking. It's our main goal. We are a grassroots, non-profit organization aimed to provide a safe space for women to network, to share their insight, share their projects, expertise from each other, and mostly co-produce and work together. Therefore, we organize an annual event in Berlinale, in Festival de Cannes, and very soon we realized that we had to organize also online meetings way before the COVID started, because we have members in 56 countries, so it's impossible for them to travel to any big festival. And we are grassroots. We welcome women in different stages of their career, so not everyone can afford a trip to Festival de Cannes. So we started doing networking activities online and seminars very early in 2019. So besides the networking, which is the important thing, we do the research. We did a first pan-European research on women directors, a study conducted by 7 universities, 7 countries, presented in 2016, so it was years ago, but it helped us frame the situation and speak properly, like 0.5% of the graduates in film schools, universities all around Europe are women. So why is there this cliff before they enter industry? Because only 1 every 5 films is directed by a woman in Europe. It was, the number we launched years ago, and it has improved, but not a lot since then. What else? Training. We are not a training institution. However, we have organized the first mentoring for female producers, for emerging film producers. Now, thank God it's been imitated for many other programs, which is fabulous, because we know the audiovisual sector, you need contacts. You need people who help you navigate through the gatekeepers. That's why mentoring is really crucial. And we encourage established producers to be mentors and encourage emerging, which does not equal young. You can be emerging even though you might be 50, because you might have changed your career, expectations, life, whatever. So emerging producers need a push and need to be coached and helped by mentors. And this program has worked very, very finely for 6 years. Sometimes we have support from other European bodies, and other times we have just funded by themselves, which is hard, but we know it's a must thing to continue the mentoring program. Besides the mentoring program, we started with the support of Netflix, the series accelerator, which was another kind of program to help producers to shift and start producing series, change from being independent film producers to produce series. So yeah, we had the support to Netflix to organize this, and luckily by the end of this year we will launch a new program combining a mentoring, but also including the series section. And what else I said? And advocacy, of course, because we understood that at pan-European level we needed some people who we needed to talk to European instances, to instigate a conversation about gender pay gap, about gender imbalance, about why not including specific measures, incentives to help women to sustain their careers. One of the things in our research, which has an extensive qualitative side that you can really consult in our website for free, is that some women manage to do a debut film, but the really complicated thing is to sustain a career. Women, at a certain point, many women have to give up and leave the industry because of lack of support, health, and equal opportunity. So with that information in hand, we knew we should approach European instances to let them know what's happening and to try to change the status quo.
Can you just say how many members
in
how many countries? And for example, could people from here
of course.
Be member?
Yes, we have nearly 800 members in 56 countries. Even though our name is European Women's Audiovisual Network, don't get discouraged, because we are not only European, we embrace women in countries where they don't have women networks, such as Iran, or Kazakhstan, or Algeria, or Morocco, or even some countries in South America and the Caribbean islands. And we also invite men. We don't have many. I think we have 3. However, the network is open also for men who share our mission and they want a more balanced and diverse and inclusive audiovisual. So men are welcome, of course. And yes, we have members in 56 countries. And I encourage you to check our website. It's ewawomen.com. So you can check our news. Last thing is our activity in Festival de Cannes, a panel discussion and a networking cocktail. And we will announce there the new calls for the mentoring program or whatever other seminar that we might be doing, and the regular monthly online meetups that we do with the members. To become a member, you need to be a professional in the audiovisual sector. Whether it be, you can be a producer, a director, a sound engineer, a costume designer. You can be working in a film fund, film festival, or film institution. So this is not a VIP club just for super successful producers. I think that's the inspiring and groundbreaking thing, that we welcome women, people, I should say, but mostly women, in different stages of their career. And that's what makes it really inclusive and and really worth attending our meetups, because you meet, even though you are not doing a mentoring program perhaps, in those meetups you meet someone who has established position, and you can learn from them, you can learn from the sharing.
Thank you very much. Gwenaëlle, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here today to share the work and vision behind Femmes d'Écossaine, a program led by Écossaine, the first professional union representing private performing arts sector in France. They currently represent 500 members, 30% of whom are women. Last year, in 2024, Malika Seguino, the general manager, asked me to launch Femmes d'Écossaine, a program supporting 80 women top leaders across our music industry. Because despite the high number of women in artistic studies, they remain severely underrepresented in leadership positions. So we have 5 main objectives: to develop female leadership and break the glass ceiling, to promote gender-balanced governance. We reached 50% of women on the professional council of Écossaine last year, to provide inspiring role models and tackle gender bias and barriers to legitimacy, to structure a national network of women leaders in France, offering mutual support and solidarity across regions. And finally, to help women better know and recognize one another in order to build visibility and collective strength. We have 4 main actions that are concrete. Some of you already, have the same kind of actions. So we launched 4 mentorships pairs, this year. We offer co-development workshops online, focusing, for example, on self-confidence, on personal branding, on work-life balance, because this is the main needs for these women. We are also hosting inspirational encounters with leading cultural figures, like, for example, artists such as Marjane Satrapi and Pénélope Bagieux, or women such as Rima Abdul-Malak, who was the Ministry of Culture, Deborah Papiernik as well, who is here at the festival. And we are also organizing a tour of festivals to make those women visible, and to talk about those kind of programs.
Thank you. So my question was now on the challenges, and you all do this fight on more equality in the audiovisual and music sector, and you all do tremendous actions in what you just said. But could you also share with us what, on your opinion, are the main challenges today? Because I think most of you are really working on this since several years. So could you please share with us and with the audience what, to your opinion, is today the 1 or 2 main challenge that we still need to work on? So maybe we go still this round, Fabienne.
Okay, it's a big question. I'd say that there are some challenges we are facing that are already quite big, but thinking that the situation is going to be, like it is today. But the thing is that I'm really kind of obsessed by the fact that I have the very big fear that the things are changing very fast and that the geopolitical context is really getting very difficult for the issues we are fighting for. So I can see in the room that there's Fanny and Elise from the collective 50/50. Hello, because you do such a big work also. And we organized together a big working session, I think it was in March or April, on this issue, on the backlash, really. And we decided to propose to all the associations in France that worked, you know, to really fight against backlash, really, and to defend, you know, parity and diversity in the cinema industry and also in audiovisual. And we spent one morning really thinking together about what is the diagnostic, what already, you know, are the things that are happening, and what can we do, you know, to be stronger. Because my feeling is that the people we've got, you know, in front of us are very. I'm not sure there are so many people, but they are very well organized and they are very determined to fight against inclusivity and diversity. So I would say that the biggest challenge is to, when you really believe, which is really my case, the case of what we do in the lab, that diversity and parity is something that can help, you know, have an audiovisual sector more rich because more diverse. Then, you know, if you really believe that, you have to, we have to be together, and we have to be very determined and not underestimate the strong of the people that are facing us, you know, really. So that's what I think.
So the backlash.
Yes, the backlash.
Alexia, can you speak? Yeah.
Yes. I don't know, I think it was kind of allergy, something.
It's backlash, it's perhaps backlash allergy?
Physical reaction, physical reaction on the backlash. Yeah, I agree with you. Backlash is a very scary thing. But even without being backlashed, one of the challenges is the political situation which cut the funds that let us do the activities. We are unfortunately experiencing that. With the political shift in many governments and film institutes, which with a great generosity gave us funds to do activities, political shift, they change. They said, okay, we don't have funds for this. You women, you have already achieved many things, it's enough. Okay, but it's not true. There's still a obvious gender pay gap everywhere. We face lots of issues, not to talk about harassment, security. So there's still lots of projects that we would like to do and we intend to do. However, lack of funding is a key thing. And it's completely linked with the political situation, backlash on the word feminism, women's network, power, wokeism, that thing. They put everything in the same block, and it's hard to keep on doing projects while we must, because it's clear that women budgets are almost the half of an average budget for a film directed by a male, at least in Spain.
Yeah, in Europe it's 40%.
Yeah,
yes,
so we are, I forgot to mention that, in our advocacy work, we have been working in the Gender Pay Gap project, and we hope it will be continued, hopefully, next year, because this is something very important. Yeah, we can vote, we have equal rights so far, but we don't have equal pay. Not in any country. In Europe, we have equal pay, and our rights are not guaranteed forever. So we must join, be together to speak up. And another challenge, of course, be more inclusive. We can't be, how can I say, we can't show complacency with our work. We must be stronger in our outreach, because we don't have enough underrepresented groups in films, in media, in music, in our network. Despite I'm very proud to have women in 56 countries, including countries like Algeria, Morocco, Guadeloupe, or Dominican Republic. Let's say they're very few. So we have members there, but it's just one. So we need really a wider representation of these underrepresented groups. And we must be stronger in our outreach to different associations and collectives and make them feel included in our association. And hey, you have a voice. Please join us, and we will be your speaker, because together we are stronger. So that's
And now thank you. Challenges at Femmes de Cinéma that you may say?
Yes, of course there are political challenges, of course, but there is also, a systemic resistance that remains strong. And I would talk about gender bias. For example, there is this syndrome, with a lack of confidence, with a lack of feeling of legitimacy, and we are working on those kind, of bias, so that those women can step to more leadership roles, for their industry. So this is a big point for us, and that's why we are, working on workshops online. We make those women, meet during, role model encounters, and also, in France we have the Rixin law. And this law was, how to say, it makes people, have to yeah, this is an obligation, to focus on parity, for the big companies. And it has been, one of the bases of Femmes de Cinéma last year. So we can focus on the law as well,
So this law in France,
Yeah.
You have now the obligation to have a full parity in your board. Is this?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. This brings me also to my third question, because here the idea is also to share good practices, inspiring practices on the European level. And my question to you was also, do you have learned lessons, or did you find some really effective and inspiring initiatives, maybe in your country, maybe in your own organization or other organization, that you can share here to say that there are innovative now things that are happening, and it's interesting to look for, maybe to continue this fight. Sorry, I use this terminology of fight. We can say also a movement or a change. But yeah, could you share something like you did for this national French program, very French program? Yeah.
Well, I can start perhaps with two examples, one more institutional and one comes out from the business sector, really. At institutional level, I could speak about the fact that, the better way to have more women is just to have some financial incitation to do so. And so the CNC, the French Institute, created, together with actually Collective 50/50, I think it was in 2019, isn't it? Yes. A bonus, a special bonus to have some more parity within the teams during the shootings. And well, I really speak under your control, Fanny and Elise, but when you created this bonus, I think it was only 19% of 15% of the film that received the bonus, and now on it's 1 out of 3 films that received it. Yeah, that's it. And this is yes, and it's a bonus that supports the fact that the teams are more. There are more women in the chief at the chief level, really. That it? So this is interesting, because when you have some money incitation, then the production is interested anyway. And in a more business level, I just say a few words about an initiative we were very much involved in with the lab. And it's a group called Respect, and you can you can have a look. There's a website called Respect Group, and it's a group that was created first by 2 producers, 2 women producers who actually had to face gender-based violence, sexual gender-based violence during one of their shootings, and they decided to create this group. And this group met up during 6 months every Friday morning during the all morning from 9 to 12 o'clock in the morning, and it was 30 people, you know, from the script to the festivals with some producers, distributors, and, you know, some filmmakers. Well, everyone in the film, the life cycle of the film really represented. And every week we had some auditions about you know, on this issue of fighting against gender-based violence. And at the end of these 6 months, we published a toolkit, really. And it's what I think is really interesting. It's that it's an initiative that comes from the business, and we always say that it's the one who do things, who know what to do. And it was a way to, you know, to express that the fact that in the industry we are very much involved to fight against this. It's really like a virus, you know, in the industry, the sexual and sexist harassment and, you know, gender-based violence. So it was very interesting to see this mobilization, and I really truly believe that, you know, on this issue, very major issue of fight against gender-based violence, the things will really evolve if we have, you know, the victims who speak, if we've got the journalists who can, you know, listen to them. If we've got the institutions who also are ready to take some, you know, some laws and, you know, to be involved, and also to have, if we have the professionals who are also involved. And if we've got all this momentum, and I think in France, we are at that time, the things are really going to move, and that's something very positive.
And this group was on a voluntary basis.
Absolutely.
All the people gave their time
Yes.
to create this
Yes.
toolkit. I think it's really impressive,
Yes.
because especially in our sector where we count the time.
Yes.
But people were really engaged and created something really from the grassroots. So it's
well,
indeed
honestly, everyone was not present every week, but, you know, we were an average of 20 people, and it was really A-level professional. It was not, you know, like, and so it was very impressive, and it really shows, I think, the fact that, you know, we really have we now know that, I mean, our sector, you know, won't have a loss of creativity if we are very much more involved in this issue. At the opposite, it will be more creative. So it's really a question of, it's not only a question of fight against violence, it's also something that we want to change in the industry globally.
good point. Thank you. Alexia?
Yes, well, in terms of EVA Network, I want to put on the spotlight our mentoring, because I think it was, and it is, really a nice example of things that could be replicated and to help women to really enter the business. Our development awards, we have contributed to the release of 16 films so far, 16 films directed by women so far, with some development prizes that we have given in certain festivals. So a prize given to a project in development, a project that must be directed by a woman. It's a way to give more visibility to these projects, and it's also a small financial contribution, which is always welcome. And talking about institutions, yeah, I can mention the change in Spain in the new law of film that took ages to be passed and agreed by the sector. Yes, they have really taken a step forward with positive actions to include more women. So not only 40% of the budget is allocated to female projects, which is not 50%, but at least guaranteed 40%, it's something. But also they give points, like extra points in the qualifications, which is a contest, to projects that have women in key positions, being director, writer, executive producer, and also in technical positions like sound engineer, DOP, boom operator, composers. So at the beginning it was just for director, writer, but then they realized as well that the only way to include more women in technical positions, those called below the line, was to encourage financially. So by giving some points to these categories, that's the way to guarantee that women are really entering those positions. So yes, and including, widening the kind of percentage of public funding that a film is allowed to have. When a film is like they call financially complicated, very art house / directed by a woman, you can increase up to 70% to public funding instead of the initial 50%. And it's a big change. It has made possible that more and more women are directing in Spain. And for this year, we didn't have the breakthrough director female, but the previous 6 years, we had the Breakthrough Director Award in the Goya Awards was a woman. So it means something. So there's lots of interest, lots of passionate young women doing their first film, and also at least 2 nominees for the best director at the Goya Awards. So yeah, political changes make things happen.
Okay, yeah, Spanish cultural politic is really incentive and really positive. And we can show the difference, so that's also very inspiring.
Yeah, with success stories.
Yeah, with success stories.
So it's not...
Definitely, because, you know, a few years ago, you were one of the worst, really, because there's something very clear between, you know, the countries of the north of Europe and the one of the south, and you were really not
Sweden
in the...
is very good, and Spain...
It's amazing what you did, really.
We learn from the best. We learn from Anna Serner.
From Anna Serner, I heard
Anna
about
Serner, the rock star Anna Serner, the one
Swedish director of the Swedish CNC.
That she had to resign. She had to
Swedish
resign
CNC.
after huge backlash.
name.
After huge backlash and huge success in gender policy, she resigned because she was too insulted for too long. So she said, "Okay, it's fine. 8 years, I'm leaving." And then the situation in Sweden has changed.
Yes, the figures
Sadly.
are so different now. Yes,
Of course,
Yes.
because we need political action.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, we are...
Yeah, no, of course. When do you have other initiatives or...
Well, talking about the music industry, we have a great dynamic as well, because we have the Centre National de la Musique, and now we have, a general manager who's a woman. So this is a great thing. But the new subsidiaries programs of the CNM shows that everyone has to take into action, the parity. So this is a great thing. And we also have lots of programs in the music industry. We have Femmes de Scène, we have All Access, WA, MEWEM. So, there is a great movement for the music. But what I think very interesting is what we do with Femmes de Scène, because I think we need more visibility for these women. There is, a term that I really hate, and that is women of shadow. They work very hard, but you don't see them. This is a great problem. We need to make those women more visible. And that's why with Femmes de Scène, we go to different festivals, for this summertime. And we make them visible, with the lab, with Ginevra Capece, who is a mentor of Femmes de Scène, with this round table, with, cocktails. We have many ideas. We can do many things, but we need to make those women connect, so that they can know each others, they can help each others, and they are more visible. And so they could be more powerful as well.
And are happy to do this, or a bit prefer to remain in the shadow?
Well, it's hard. It's hard because they're used to be in the shadow. So that's why we need those kind of programs, to help them with self-confidence, with personal branding, and those kind of things. So it takes time, because this is cultural as well.
Can you please say again the profile of the women who are in Femmes de Scène?
Well, we have 80 top managers, women of the private art performing sector. And those women, you know, they manage venues, they are producers, that is this kind of work.
Well, actually, I have also maybe the question to you, because in this moment where we share inspiring practices or projects at European level, maybe some of you know another initiative or another method that we didn't talk about. So if someone wants to share, you're welcome. Or if you have questions also, you're welcome. We still have some time to discuss together, but I know usually there exist a lot of things that remains in the shadow. So if someone of you wants to share something. All of you, who is not from France here? Okay, may I ask you from what country you are? Yeah? Yes? Yeah?
Mexico.
Mexico, okay. And you?
Personally, I live in France, but I'm from Russia.
Russia, thank you. And you?
I'm from Czech Republic.
Okay. And you?
United States.
Okay. And so do you have maybe in your countries the knowledge of one project or initiative or where maybe EWA is not, or zero? Okay.
We have a lot, but we have a lot of backlash.
You have a lot of backlash. Okay, in a nutshell, you just summarize what we just did today, speaking of all the projects, but still the threat of the backlash. And maybe could you share one initiative that you may know? There is She Said So also, who is a great network, but very wide. No, it's in music.
I don't know if I know any initiatives myself.
But I know there are a lot in the United States.
There's a lot, yeah. And I'm usually hired by, I work for filmmakers, so I'm usually hired by them, but not a part of an initiative necessarily.
Hi, I can explain an initiative. With Corinne next to me, we started a women's association in animation. We work in the animation industry, so we're always sort of next to the live action. We did a really great interactive workshop with Fabienne last year in Annecy, where Annecy every June has the largest international animation festival in the world. There's over 18,000 people worldwide that come to Annecy to participate in the festival and the market. And we brought together women from all over Europe in a full afternoon program to explore how we could work together to do programs amongst all the women's associations in Europe, because there are multiple in our industry. And just this past Annecy, which was 2 weeks ago, I moderated a panel quite similar to this one, where there were 3 different women's associations that work in animation for all the same things that you're doing. We all do the same things.
In France?
No, France, United States, and Spain. And at the end of the panel, Michael Marin, who runs all of something called CITIA, which is a very important initiative, institution really in animation. They run the festival, they run residencies, they run workshops worldwide. They have now a very large complex that houses, it's like an incubator complex that houses production companies and hosts people. And he just announced a fantastic initiative for next year, which will be a residency specific for women directing animated features. Because our numbers are actually worse than in live action. There's only 2 women, maybe 3. Otherwise, it's women that work in duos with men. And often when the women get the first billing, it's very important, your place in credits, it's because something has gone wrong with the male director. And one example we have of that is a film that was in Annecy and also in Cannes this year that won a prize, won the jury, no, the public prize. Public prize, the audience prize. It's called Little Emily. It's an adaptation of a very well-known French book. And it started off as being directed by a man with the assistant director, a woman. And because things went south in production, she was promoted to being the first place director. So there's a lot of, there are a lot of initiatives in the animation world very similar to yours, but having this very specific residency is really quite exceptional. And it's worldwide. It's not just for France. It's for women all over the world. And what's brilliant about the system in CITIA, which is the governing body of ANSSI, is that once someone is accepted into their residency program and that finishes the residency, it's not finished. They continue to lobby, to work to make sure that the film gets made. I work in distribution and production. They're often asking me, how can this film get its gap financing? How can we get better distribution? So it's really being brought into a hub of how projects are finished and distributed. So it's very cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think about it. There's this German study that says that, if you really want to promote diversity and parity, there are two things that can be done. The first one are to take political measures and structural measures, and we spoke about it. It means to develop the bonuses and the incitation, the financial incitation, and the fight against GBV. This is on the one way, and on the other way, it's really to develop the fact to have some female role model. And on that point, there are networks are really important. And what le Festival Sœurs Jumelles do here in Rochefort is very important, because it's really, these 2 days were really, there were so many women, and we discussed together, and it's very important. There's one thing I want to speak about. It's the importance of some prizes that are given to women. And it's a gender crisis. Can I say that? Yes, gender. Well, I don't know. Yeah, and it's interesting. I take my hat from Les Arcs as a film festival. We created a prize in 2013. So we celebrated the 10th years of the 10 years birthday last year. And when we created this prize, I really remember to have some friends. Female filmmakers that went to me and said, well, it's terrible what you do, because we don't want to be recognized as, as women. We want to be recognized as, good filmmakers. And that was at that time in 2013. And when we celebrated the birthday of the prize last year, the same women, they came and they said, well, we changed our minds, and thanks to the work of so many collectives and also associations, and the mentalities really evolved, I think, on that point. And now I really believe that, women, when they receive this kind of prize, they do it for themselves, because it's true that it's really good for them to be, under the spotlight, but they also do it mainly for the others, and the one that can seeing them then can project themselves in this kind of job. And that's why it's so important also to have some women who win some awards in this, the national ceremonies, and it's still a very big fight also to have.
Thank you. So it's nearly the end of this roundtable. Maybe you have one question or one thing that you would like to share with us. It's the time now, because I think in a few minutes we need to close this discussion.
Can we add a few words?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, conclusion word.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes. Yes. No, if you want to start.
No, yes, I just want to say that we don't need anymore to open the door, because the door is open. We need to redesign the house, and that is why union like Ecocène are very important, because we can act directly with the industry, and that is very important, I think. But what would be interesting as well is to connect in a more European level, and maybe to have also a program that can connect women from many countries. That would be the next step.
Music festivals.
In music
because
festivals.
in audiovisual it exists, but also
Definitely. And that's why we're working on for next year.
Yeah, it's difficult to find a positive note. However, I think that we are better than 10 years ago, and I hope that despite backlash and lots of bots sabotaging our campaigns. I hope that in 10 years we will be even better. I hope that we are educating younger generations, thinking about a more equal, diverse and inclusive society and audiovisual. And what else? Events like this one, or gender summits, like it was organized in the Berlinale this year, I think they do a great work into making more visible the great work of women professionals and women networks. So we need more visibility in festivals and cross-cultural events as well, because we can create synergies between audiovisual and music. That's why I found mesmerizing and fabulous this festival of Sœurs, Jumelles, which is the first time I'm attending. I think it's great because I've met many wonderful women that in any case I would have never met. And yeah, let's start working on these synergies and work together united.
Thank you. Just want to say that we don't have to forget, the sense of the goal of having more parity. It's not only a question of the fact that it's not fair to have less women. It's not only a question of mathematics, unbalanced. It's really about creativity. I really believe that, the more women that are behind the camera or behind, the musical creation we have, and the more creative, we are, actually. So this is the first thing. So that's why I think it's so important to keep on fighting on that. And I'm not, afraid of using the fight word. And the last word, I share with you the fact that we really made so much progress thanks to all our, efforts, really. And it's difficult to maintain the effort in a very long time, especially when it's non-profit most of the time, engagement. But we are facing this troubled time, and I really think that I really want to send you an involvement message, and I think that everybody has a role to play, to fight against, this, it's dark, it's really like dark values. So we are the light values, I think, really. So we have to take our part, and all of us, really. So please do your part too. Thank you.
An individual step counts. Absolutely. Every action counts.
Thank you. So I suggest also we connect on LinkedIn. So because it's proven that women do less network online, but also in real life. So let's do it. Let's connect together. LinkedIn may be better than other. We spoke about Instagram before. So maybe continue keeping in touch, and thank you very much for this discussion. I hope it was also clear and inspiring for you, and let's go and have a drink for those who can. Okay.